There might be 50 or 100 patients in the world that have this rare disease. Agencies are being open to more rapid, accelerated timelines, but I don't think we're there yet. I think alignment across regions is very challenging.
Our coverage of Meeting on the Med in Rome is kindly sponsored by Cellares. I am Federico Citteric, reporting for Onyx live here at the Meeting on the Med in Rome. Today I am with Josh Schroeder, Chief of Staff at CTI, Clinical Trial and Consulting Services. Josh, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you, Federico. Thank you again, Onyx, for having us. Excited to be here at Meeting on the Med in Rome. So I'm the Chief of Staff at CTI. CTI is a global CRO, so we are a contract research organization, roughly the 20th largest CRO in the world. So we are a mid-sized CRO that focuses really on life-threatening, I would say, complex patient indications. So with that in mind, we very much align with cell and gene therapy trials, which is why, again, we are the only CRO that is a main sponsor of this event, because we feel the cell and gene space are a path that we really need to be involved with as an organization. And in my role as Chief of Staff, again, I help with a lot of our strategic initiatives, such as expanding our global footprint. So that's why I'm here today.
And a bit in general, working in the area of clinical trials, what do you think is the biggest complexity in the field of CGT, of cell and gene therapy?
I think cell and gene therapy has a number of complexities, many of which, again, I think the CMC portion and just the logistics of making these trials happen. Again, sometimes if it's an autologous cell therapy product, you're collecting patient cells, you're shipping them to a CDMO, you're manufacturing the cells, harvesting them, shipping them back. So these are not easy things to be done to ship countrywide. Sometimes you're going through customs in other countries. So I really think the logistics piece is what is the most challenging piece.
Do you think there's something that makes running areas in this field fundamentally different from perhaps more traditional drug development?
I do. I mean, I think anytime you are altering, again, patient cells, you're dealing with, GMOs, and you are essentially, there's a level of complexity that's beyond just giving a drug infusion. That certainly there's ethical components, there's IBCs and certain additional reviews that are taken into account for these kinds of studies.
I think one of the greatest challenges, particularly in CGT, is patient recruitment,
Yes.
and also in the case of rare diseases.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
how do you think that works?
No, yeah, you are absolutely correct. That again, that's why CTI, we feel that we have the largest global footprint of mid-sized CROs, because sometimes you have to go to all the ends of the earth to find sometimes patients where there's, there might be 50 or 100 patients in the world that have this rare disease. So our coverage is a response to the type of studies we have to run on behalf of our sponsors. So that's why we have to be in so many countries to be able to find and enroll these patients.
The field is really trying to push from autologous to allogenic therapies. So would that change the way trials need to be designed and commercialized, you think?
I think some of the steps in order to get regulatory approvals will change a bit, but I can totally understand why the industry wants to move in that fashion. Again, certainly allogeneic products are off the shelf. You can make them in much higher quantities. You don't need, apheresis, for example, collecting a patient's cells. So I totally understand why, but there things like IBC reviews that are done are needed because, again, you're altering a GMO product. So I can totally understand why we're moving in that direction. There's just a few steps that need to be taken in addition.
What do you think needs to improve in a clinical trial process to really accelerate this field, and how is CTI addressing it?
Yeah, I would say certainly from our regulatory bodies, anything we can do for cycle time improvement is much appreciated. These are patients that don't have treatments currently. They need cures for their certain rare diseases or certain cancers and cell therapy modalities. So I would just ask, certainly the FDA, EMA, other regulatory agencies, as quick as we can review, get approvals to move forward with these studies. Again, we need to ensure they're safe, but they take quite a bit of time. So I would say that's one thing we certainly want to push forward, and we think the industry as a whole wants to move forward with.
Do you think, or do you feel that these problems are addressed here at the moment?
I think people are trying. I think agencies are being open to more rapid, accelerated timelines, but I don't think we're there yet. So I certainly think more progress needs to be made.
And finally, just to sum it up, do differences, we kind of mentioned it, difference between the FDA, the EMA and other regulators slow things down, or is the challenge perhaps more about aligning everything across regions?
I think alignment across regions is very challenging. Sometimes you'll get different FDA feedback versus EMA feedback. So I think that very much is something that needs to be taken into account. So any way we could centralize things would be very much appreciated. But I do think as a whole, as certainly the topic of the year, China and how fast they are quickly getting trials done is, I think, ultimately, while the FDA and EMA has a responsibility to the countries they govern over to make sure that the new products are safe for their patients, I do think it's pushing innovation forward that, perhaps we can accelerate some of these review timelines.
Josh, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Federico. Appreciate it. Thank you.